Hello, friends. Imagine this scene. It is a normal Monday morning in Paris, France. The date is 21st August 1911. People are walking quickly through the streets, some rushing to their offices, others opening their shops. Everything looks completely ordinary. Nothing feels unusual, and no one suspects that history is about to be made. Early that same morning, three men quietly walk out of the Louvre Museum. They don't look nervous or suspicious. They are not running, and they are not hiding. In their hands they carry something wrapped inside a simple blanket. No guard stops them. No one asks them a single question. Calmly, they walk to a nearby train station, catch a train at 8:45 a.m., and disappear without leaving a trace. At that exact moment, the world has no idea that something unbelievable has just happened. The most famous painting in human history is gone. Yes, the Mona Lisa has been stolen. Today, this painting is valued at nearly $1 billion. But the real mystery has never been about money. The real question is much deeper. Why is the Mona Lisa so special? Why is her smile talked about so much? And why do millions of people travel from all over the world just to see a small painting behind glass? To understand this mystery, we must first go back to the beginning. The Mona Lisa was painted in the year 1503 by Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo was not just a painter. Calling him only an artist would be unfair. He was a scientist, an engineer, an inventor, an architect, a sculptor, and above all, a deep thinker. He studied the human body, plants, stars, rocks, and light. His curiosity had no limits, and many believed that one lifetime was simply not enough for him. Among all his creations, there was one painting that made him immortal, the Mona Lisa. For centuries, people have asked one important question: who is the woman in the painting? In the year 1550, an Italian writer and artist named Giorgio Vasari gave the first clear answer. According to him, the woman was Lisa Gherardini. She was married to a wealthy silk trader from Florence named Francesco Giondo. Vasari claimed that the painting was created for her husband, which is how the artwork received its famous name. The meaning of the name Mona Lisa is actually quite simple. In Old Italian, the word Madonna meant madam. Madonna Lisa meant Madame Lisa. Over time, Madonna became Mona, and Mona slowly changed into Mona. So, Mona Lisa simply means Lady Lisa. She is also known by another name, La Gioconda. After marriage, Lisa's full name became Lisa Giocondo. In Italian, the word Giocondo means cheerful, joyful, and light-hearted. And what is the Mona Lisa most famous for? Her mysterious smile. That is why she became known as La Gioconda. In French, this name turns into La Giocondo, which is how her name appears in the Louvre Museum today. Even after Vasari's explanation, many people were not convinced. Over time, several theories emerged. Some believed the woman was Leonardo's mother. Others thought she was a queen, or even an imaginary figure. One strange theory suggested that the Mona Lisa was actually Leonardo himself, painted as a woman. In 1987, an artist even tried to prove this idea by matching Leonardo's face with the Mona Lisa using computer technology. However, experts later pointed out that face matching can be misleading, as many faces can appear similar. The debate finally ended in 2004, when a professor from Florence presented solid evidence. After spending 25 years researching old documents, he uncovered marriage records, legal papers, and family connections that all pointed to one conclusion: Lisa Gherardini was indeed the woman in the painting. He also discovered that Leonardo's father and Lisa's husband knew each other very well. It is possible that Leonardo's father personally asked him to paint Lisa. At the time, Lisa was around 24 years old and had suffered a personal loss earlier in her life, which may explain the soft veil on her head, a symbol often associated with mourning. The theft of the Mona Lisa was not discovered immediately. In fact, it took almost an entire day for anyone to realize that something was wrong. On the morning after the theft, a painter walked into the Louvre Museum to sketch the famous artwork. When he reached the wall where the Mona Lisa usually hung, he froze. The painting was not there. At first, museum staff assumed it had been taken for photography or cleaning, which was common at the time. But hours passed, and the painting did not return. Slowly, panic began to spread. Soon, the truth became impossible to ignore. The Mona Lisa had been stolen. The Louvre was immediately shut down, and police swarmed the museum. Every room was searched. Every employee was questioned. France was in shock. Newspapers exploded with headlines, and the story spread across the world within days. What shocked people even more was how easily the painting had been taken. There were no alarms, no cameras, and very little security. The most famous artwork in history had vanished almost effortlessly. The French police launched a massive investigation. Borders were watched, ports were monitored, and rewards were announced. Even famous artists were questioned. One of them was Pablo Picasso. Because he had once bought stolen artworks from the same circle, police briefly suspected him. However, no solid evidence was found, and he was released. The case grew colder with every passing month, and the world slowly began to lose hope. For more than 2 years, the Mona Lisa remained missing. During this time, something unexpected happened. The painting became more famous than ever before. Newspapers printed her image daily. People who had never heard of Leonardo da Vinci now knew the Mona Lisa by name. Ironically, her absence made her a global celebrity. The empty space on the Louvre wall became a tourist attraction on its own. Then, in 1913, a surprising twist changed everything. An Italian man named Vincenzo Peruggia tried to sell the Mona Lisa to an art dealer in Florence. He claimed that the painting belonged in Italy and that he was a patriot who wanted to return it home. The dealer immediately contacted the authorities. Peruggia was arrested, and the Mona Lisa was finally recovered. During interrogation, Peruggia revealed how simple the theft had been. He was a former Louvre employee. On the day of the theft, he wore a white worker's uniform, removed the painting from the wall, took off its frame, wrapped it in cloth, and walked out calmly. No one stopped him because he looked like a normal museum worker. For over 2 years, the Mona Lisa had been hidden inside a wooden box in his small apartment. When the Mona Lisa was returned to France, she was welcomed like a national hero. Before going back to the Louvre, the painting was displayed across Italy, allowing thousands of people to see her. By the time she returned to Paris, her fame had reached legendary status. The theft had transformed her from a respected artwork into the most famous painting on earth. Even after being returned to the Louvre, the mystery of the Mona Lisa did not end. In fact, it only grew stronger. People from all over the world continued to ask the same question: why does her smile feel so alive? No matter where you stand, it seems like she is watching you. Sometimes she looks happy, sometimes sad, and sometimes completely emotionless. This strange effect has confused scientists, artists, and psychologists for centuries. One major reason behind this illusion is Leonardo da Vinci's revolutionary painting technique called sfumato. Instead of using sharp lines, Leonardo blended colors so softly that the edges almost disappear. The transition between light and shadow is so smooth that the human eye cannot clearly define her expression. When you look directly at her mouth, the smile fades, but when you look at her eyes, the smile suddenly appears. This trick plays with human vision and makes the expression feel constantly changing. Leonardo also understood human anatomy better than anyone of his time. He secretly studied dead bodies to learn how muscles move under the skin. This knowledge allowed him to paint subtle facial movements that look natural even today. The Mona Lisa is not frozen like other portraits. She feels alive, as if she is breathing quietly in front of you. This realism was centuries ahead of its time. Another reason for her mystery is that Leonardo never considered the painting finished. He kept working on it for years and carried it with him wherever he went. He never delivered it to Risa's husband. Some historians believe Leonardo was emotionally attached to the painting. Others think he was using it as an experiment to perfect his techniques. Whatever the reason, this constant refinement added layers of depth that no other painting has. Today, the Mona Lisa is protected like a priceless treasure. She sits behind bulletproof glass, guarded 24/7, and watched by millions of visitors every year. Ironically, The painting itself is quite small, yet its impact is massive. People travel across continents just to see her for a few seconds. Not because of her size or beauty, but because of her story. The Mona Lisa represents more than art. She represents curiosity, mystery, and the power of human creativity. A simple portrait painted over 500 years ago still controls global attention. From a quiet Florentine woman to a stolen masterpiece, from a forgotten commission to a cultural icon, the Mona Lisa's journey is unlike anything else in history. In the end, perhaps the biggest mystery is not her smile, her identity, or even her theft. The real mystery is how one painting continues to make the entire world stop, stare, and wonder. And maybe that is exactly what Leonardo da Vinci wanted.